Thank you. I guess the best thing I can do right now is just not talk at all. Huh? So thank you all for coming tonight. I'm very appreciative that Stephen, my children, Gwen, Greg, and Joe, their spouses and spouses-to-be, along with my grandchildren, my sister Therese, my extended family, and all of my friends, co-workers, former students, and the board. I'm very thankful that you were here tonight. It beats being embarrassed by a really low turnout. Okay, so half of what I was going to say I don't have to say because people have said already, but we'll see. It's a beautiful evening, and it's a beautiful sight seeing all of you here supporting Manor. I want to thank John for inviting me to be the honoree this evening, and many thanks to Tom, Kelly, Anthony, Allison, and everyone who helped them transform this library into this beautiful space this evening. And thank you to the Sisters of St. Basil the Great, who started Manor and have given us the opportunity to be part of their mission for the last 78 years. So, one day I'm fixing dinner, and I get a phone call from John Perry. He's in his car driving home. Those of you who know John know what that means. So after asking me to consider being the Gala's honoree, I gave him a list of excellent reasons why I was not a good choice for this event. So here I am. Next came figuring out what I was going to say this evening. So I was talking with Dr. Rob Orsher. He's a fellow board member and a friend. And he pointed out that I've been with Manor for 35 years. Guess I really do belong here. Just for some context, I started at Manor before Mike Landis. He's the guy who called me a polymath. He was the new kid hired over in the Learning Center with the long hair that he still has, and the, what did he say? Vocabulary that he also still has. And now he is an honored, esteemed senior faculty member. A little of my own background. When I graduated from college, I started teaching math at Simon Gratz High School in the Harning Park section of Philadelphia. I had the benefit of Bill Ellerby, who is here tonight, to mentor and guide me along the way. I realize now that I probably looked about 15 years old, which was probably why Bill, who taught across the hall from me, kept an eye out on me and kept checking in on the classroom. I learned a great deal from when I was there at Manor. Don't judge, set and demand standards, and above all, really care. I left Gratz when Gwen, my first child, was born, and I began tutoring, and I was very busy. Who knew kids wanted to spend time outside of school doing math? Next came Gregory, and then Joe. In 1990, Joe, who you know because he came to Manor and worked in the IT department here, started preschool. So I decided to check out that college that was right around the corner to see if they had a course I could teach while he was in class. Maddie Seltzer hired me to teach a developmental math course. I could teach my class, do some tutoring in the Learning Center, and go home and be mom. Perfect. 2 years later, he started elementary school, and I was offered a full-time position here by Ann Knopp, who was the dean then. And again, perfect timing. For 26 years, I taught math, coordinated the math program, chaired the Allied Health, Science, and Mathematics Division, became the first assistant and then associate dean of academic affairs. I had the opportunity to write curriculum, standardize courses, develop new courses, write the math workbook for the Vet Tech program, and serve on I cannot tell you how many committees. And I loved it all, and as Leslie Weinfeld always says, my dream job. A chance to do many things I know I could not have done at other places. But most rewarding of all was the chance to work with so many different people, talented, committed people, who were and still are devoted to doing what's best for the student. I've enjoyed continuing relationships with most. During my time here, I was involved with almost every aspect of the school, even stepping in as dean of students for a while, and had the opportunity to work with almost every department and almost everyone, giving me a really broad, big picture understanding of the school, which way I could give John a little insight into things. Since leaving teaching and administration for reasons that are here tonight, Teddy, Tessa, Jeffrey, and Jillian, I continue to serve on various committees and am now a member of the board. So like Rob pointed out, I have been here a long time and I've seen a lot of changes. I've been a part of Manor's evolution from a very effective but rather sleepy school without a lot of name recognition. I live within walking distance of Manor, and in the past, our neighbors used to think of us as part of St. Basil's. And it became a school with a broader awareness among the community, with ads on billboards, buses, bus shelters, including at the shore, and on ads on radio and television. We've been recognized for what we do and what we accomplish by entities outside of our community on a statewide and national level. I have numerous examples, recent ones, of being somewhere, even out of state, wearing Manor gear, of course, and someone walks up to me with a Manor story. Many people have been connected with Manor, but you don't always hear them talk about it. One of my favorite stories is Marshall, a former student, who was graduating and wanted to finish his pre-law degree at Cornell. He goes up to interview with the dean, and he asks about the school he's attending. And he says, "Oh, Manor, it's a small school in Jenkintown. You probably never heard of it." And the dean says, "Oh, my wife went there." Right before I started at Manor, Manor became co-ed and wasn't open to guys just to take classes in the evening. One adjustment to going toward co-ed is expanding our sports program for both men and the women. And I'm personally excited about the upcoming flag football team. Thank you, JD. We're also no longer a junior college. As far as activities go, and in addition to student government, there are so many more student activities and leadership opportunities, including the LEAD program and the Presidential Ambassadors program, and like John said, several are here tonight helping, along with the Crosby Leadership Scholarship that helps support these efforts. We now have a full-fledged health center for students and staff. We've updated facilities and updated and remodeled the library, which did not always look like this, going online and eliminating some stacks, and the card catalog, some of you will remember those, really freed up space and let us readjust how this library is used. I worked with Joe Burke, who was the former president of LaSalle and a member of Manor's board. He also served as the interim president when we were looking for John, to get advice on forming a faculty senate, with the intent to not only give the faculty a needed voice, but to give them the respect of a response. And we all know how important that is. Since then, much has been done to give everyone, including faculty, staff, and students, a voice, with the respect that every contribution deserves. I fully encourage everyone here, John, maybe you'll be happy about this, to use your voice, be heard, and do your part to make Manor a success. We now have our first lay president in John Perry, who continues to do so much to move Manor forward and gain us the recognition we've earned and deserved. I'm not sure many of you know that our Vet Tech program started out as a program focused on animal research in conjunction with Fox Chase Cancer Center. Surprise, that is not what our animal-loving students wanted to do. So the Vet Tech program was started by Dr. Joanna Bassert, who is here tonight. And with the contribution of some generous board members and faculty, now have their own well-designed wing. The dental hygiene clinic and program didn't exist, and it's now one of our most sought-after programs, along with the recently established LPN program. We established a relationship with the Ukrainian Educational and Cultural Center so that those students who successfully completed 12 years of Saturday school could gain up to 12 credits for Ukrainian language, culture, and history. We had agreements with several of the area Catholic high schools, Cardinal Doherty, Archbishop Wood, St. Hubert's, and an agreement with the Montgomery County Technical School, giving students the opportunity to earn college credits in certain areas. And like John said, we recently partnered with Wingcote Academy to bring their farm here, chickens and all. A big change is that several of these programs give students the opportunity to earn bachelor's degrees right here at Manor where they wanted to stay. Back when I was associate dean, We had conducted a survey to determine interest in bachelor programs and in what areas. It was rewarding to find out that so many students wanted to stay and finish their degrees here, with vet tech, dental hygiene, and the business concentrations being of particular interest. Financially, Manor always had scholarships that could help students, but now there are various funds that help outside of the classroom. Some of them John mentioned. We do have the Bird Feed, which are our food pantry, now with greater need than ever. We have the SAFE Fund that helps students handle financial situations that might derail their college career. We have the Menta Maloney Mental Health Fund, providing direct support for students' emotional well-being. We have the Zegestowsky You Belong Here Fund that helps students to fully participate in academic activities that may be beyond their financial means. We have the SOAR program to guide and support students who have aged out of the foster care system, and the college's You Belong Here program that John talked about. We've really expanded our involvement with the Ukrainian community. The museum has been part of Manor since 1977 and continues to expand its place in the community. Project Resilience, which digitizes materials of significant historic and cultural value to Ukrainians, is housed right here in the library. And we sponsor the very successful Ukrainian Dialogue series. The latest one was just on November 6th, and you may have had advertisements for that on KYW. We started our Founders Day, acknowledging the hard work of the sisters. We initiated the Student-Selected Educator of the Year Award and the Mother Josephat Award, honoring well-deserving students. There have been so many changes to the structure, organization, and daily functioning of the college, all with the intent of creating a more personalized, effective, you are important, you belong here environment. Its effects are evident in the welcoming attitude of our students. They show to anyone when they come on campus. It's their school. They belong here, and they welcome you in. As I mentioned, teaching at Simon Gratz, I learned to take students wherever they are, to not judge, to set and demand standards, and most importantly, to care. And that's exactly what I found at Manor. An administration, faculty, and staff that are committed not just to doing a job or teaching a course, but to addressing the needs of each individual student and teaching the student, not just the material. Instructors here are not just lecturers of course content, but educators of an individual, someone they know by name, they care about, and they want to see develop into successful contributing members in their communities. Everyone focuses on doing what's best for the students, not only what they want, but what's best for them. Kind of like Josh said, tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. They really do make it personal, and we have the testament of many students who recognize, appreciate, and benefit from that effort. We have administrators, faculty, staff, and benefactors who all share the heart of Manor. So please, do not get discouraged by anything or anyone that does not seem to live up to that expectation, by those who may not share the heart of Manor. You know that you do, so keep doing what you do so well. Every college and university has driven students who know what they want, have the discipline and commitment to get what they want, and to get what they need to accomplish their goals, and they expect the institution to help them meet those needs. You also have the students who have a general idea of what they want and are willing to work to get there, but need guidance and someone to help them recognize the path they have to take, and even more importantly, the hard work they have to do to be successful. Like the student who came to my office years ago to complain about an instructor because she studied so hard for that test and he gave her a D. So we talked about what she did to prepare for that test, and it turned out she got exactly the grade she studied for. She had no idea what it takes to be academically successful. Then you have the students who are capable and full of potential but may not recognize that in themselves. They're not sure what direction they want to take, and because of that seem to lack motivation. All they need is someone to light that fire that will set them on the path to a life that's challenging and fulfilling. Your value as an institution is not connected to how selective you are or how many people you reject. It's about what you see in people, what you do to help them be successful, and who you graduate. Manor does that, and does that with the support of everyone here. And for that, we are all grateful. So thank you for coming tonight, celebrating, and continuing to support what Manor does so well.